What's up, everybody? You're listening to the Alaskan Grappler podcast. My name is Dennis Ockman. I am your host. Today we sit down and talk with Wes Bockert for part 2 of our interview because our interview last time was cut short. Today we don't talk about a whole lot of wrestling. We kind of shoot the breeze and talk about a bunch of random things such as coffee, breakfast food, and even Fortnite a little bit. We do talk about the challenges of coaching against parents in the corner, though, and some other aspects of that. But before we get into that interview, I wanted to correct something that I talked about in the last podcast. I was speaking about Lathrop State Championship team from last year, and I was rattling off the state finalists that they had off the top of my head, and I only rattled off 5, and it was just off the top of my head, and I totally forgot to mention one of our 2 champions, Kobe Ames. So I wanted to give a shout out to him and apologize for me totally forgetting about mentioning him, which makes me feel bad as a host as well as one of his coaches. I just was going off the top of my head of who I could remember. I should have went by weight class and I definitely would have got him, but that's my bad for forgetting one of the 2 state champions we had. I also do want to correct something that I speak about at the end of this upcoming podcast. Me and Wes even talk about Call of Duty a little bit, and we talk about the new Call of Duty Black Ops 4, but I refer to it as Call of Duty Black Ops 3. So just wanted to correct that before you hear it and go, man, this guy's a terrible host and doesn't know anything. So that being said, here is part 2 of my interview with Wes Bockert. Enjoy. Office at IGA again, and I brought some coffees this morning from Starbucks. Normally I go to like a local place just to support local.
You went to Starbucks?
I went to Starbucks, yeah. They opened up this new one with this drive-thru, so...
Kirsten made me take her there yesterday, but I wouldn't go in.
Well, my point is, I bought a sandwich from there, which is really nasty, by the way. It's a double smokehouse bacon, cheddar, something nasty. Should have known better. On the way over, I was counting in my head, though, off the top of my head, how many coffee carts in Fairbanks that I can think of. Off the top of my head, 21. Off the top of my head.
You stopped at Starbucks.
And I stopped at Starbucks.
You gotta go to Sunshine, what is it?
Sunrise? Yeah. No, I know. I should have.
Sandwiches.
Well, my thing was that I needed breakfast and I needed coffee. So here's another thing. So from what I was told, and I don't know if this is true, so a lot of the coffee carts, they go when they time your shot for espresso, they have to like time it themselves or whatever. So that's why your coffee like sometimes isn't always like if you get it at one place, every day from a different barista, it's gonna not always taste the same. But apparently when they do it at Starbucks, it's like in a machine or something already.
Timed automatically.
Yeah, and I could be wrong on that, but that's what I was told, and it makes sense.
Starbucks coffee.
Really?
I don't like their political format either. So
Gotcha.
Okay.
I only got it from there because my coffee's normally never bad. Sometimes I go, and I don't really drink coffee a lot. Are you a big coffee guy? You got a 20 ounce.
Oh, so here's the deal about coffee. It makes Heather irritated sometimes. I love coffee, but when I get that caffeine, I'm already ADD, so you have you know how that is. I'll be in the middle of a sentence, someone will do something, I'll yell at them, and then I'll lose. You know what I mean? So imagine I just drank 4 sips of coffee, and we're trying to hold a conversation now. That coffee cup gets left somewhere, half undrank. Yeah. And Heather's like, I'm not getting you a big coffee.
Kind of like last time I bought you one and you spilled it.
Your brother spilled it.
Okay. So someone spilled it all over the floor. Someone spilled it all over the floor. Are you a coffee guy where you have to drink coffee every morning?
No.
It's just every once in a while type thing?
No. You know what I do like in the morning? If I'm I don't eat breakfast, right? Because I get going but if I do eat breakfast, so when I was in the military and you go to the chow hall, they'd have breakfast, scrambled eggs, omelets, or whatever, and I don't know. They cottage cheese for breakfast, right? You seen that at
yeah.
They have it even at salad bar. So for some reason I liked it. It was good. So I'd have as a soldier, I was skinny, so it just burned off me, but not so much now. I'd have a regular breakfast. There's cottage. I can remember cottage cheese sometimes. I don't know why. It's just weird, but. I wouldn't get coffee. I didn't start drinking coffee till I was 37, 35 maybe. I'd get caffeine, but I'd get go to the soda machine in the chow hall and get Pepsi and drink that and have basically cold caffeine.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, and people would be like, well, why are you drinking? I was like,
it's weird, man.
You drink coffee with sugar and milk in it. Like, I mean, it's hot. I don't want hot.
Yeah.
I mean, so every once in a while I'll do that just because I don't know.
Yeah. So when we're talking about coffee, when did you start drinking coffee? Or you said 35, 37, like why? Well, you just started drinking coffee one day? Just were like, you know what? I'm just going to try some coffee.
I think I started getting up earlier, and the running became less enthusiastic as I got older.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I had, as a platoon sergeant, I think it was as a platoon sergeant, I was, knew that some of the older guys were drinking coffee kind of before they'd go running. And we used to have this one first sergeant that back in the day, Fort Campbell, I was like, this is like 98. He would run around with the canteen cup. You know what a canteen cup is, right?
Yeah.
He'd have coffee and he'd be running with it. And to this day, that was the joke, right? That's the image you have, this old guy just yelling at people, running circles around him with this. And he's like 50 years old, And to this day, I couldn't tell you if there was ever coffee in there or that was just like some image that he... But, so I started drinking it and it would just wake me up. But then the life of like... when you get older, like... You get up in the morning, you gotta go to the bathroom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I never had to do that until I started drinking coffee.
Oh, okay, yeah. It does it to a lot of people.
So then came the system, like drink coffee,
go to the bathroom,
go on my run.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I was just asking because funny kind of thing is with coffee for me, and it actually kind of ties into wrestling. I never really drank coffee, don't really care for the taste, or never have. I mean, now it's different because you can get all kinds of weird drinks that taste fantastic and whatever. I actually don't drink it for the caffeine. I swear it does nothing for me. Dylan, my little brother, always says that it's probably because I only drink like one cup, if that. He's like, have you ever tried drinking like 2 or like 3 at a time, back to back to like really get, and I'm like, nah, not really. But we were at
Who the hell would do that?
I don't know. Some people drink.
Like, I'm not getting nothing.
Some people are like, some people are like, don't talk to me in the morning until I've had my cup of coffee.
I think the coffee works a couple minutes after. But think about when we drink coffee the most. All right, I don't know if you drink coffee other than like when we go to wrestling tournaments, we grab coffee, right?
Yeah.
We go to practice. Like sometimes at night before practice, like I'm drained from high school practice, and I got to come here and do 2 more classes. I'll go get coffee and just sip on it just to make it through. But
I always found that weird, like when people also, like if you go to some restaurants and stuff and they ask you like after you eat, like if you want coffee, who the hell's drinking coffee at like 8 o'clock at night? That's crazy.
I understood that, but they like it after sweets or stuff.
That's weird though. I don't know, but so I don't drink, like I guess my thing is, so for the caffeine part, I don't drink it for the caffeine because I've drank coffee say 3, 4, 5 days in a row in the morning first thing, and have not noticed a difference from doing it the very next week.
You're
and not
spastic all the time, though.
I guess, but I mean, I don't get energy from it. If I'm tired, I could drink a cup of coffee and I could go take.
I don't think you're.
I go take a nap after.
I don't think you're there yet. I think you got the energy, you got a system going, but when you get older,
Dylan drinks coffee like every day. That's like his thing, and he's 5 years younger than me.
When you get a truck, right, and it gets old, some of these smart dudes, they start putting that extra fuel cleaner in that thing to clean it up, get it going, driving a little bit better. Wait till you get old.
Whatever, I guess. Oh, so anyway, so the first time I actually tried it, right, so we were on a wrestling trip down in Anchorage. I think it might have been like a dual tournament because I don't know why we had the time. Yeah, but no, this was a while back, like early when we coached the first round through. But we went to the Diamond Mall. And so we had time to do that. So I don't know what tournament we were at to do that. I think maybe it was a dual tournament, and our team didn't duel. Like our first duel was at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. So we took the kids to the Diamond Mall, and some of the we broke the kids off into groups, go do their own thing or whatever, because we're not going to babysit through the mall. And some of the coaches went to Perfect Cup in the Diamond Mall. And they have this, shout out to the Perfect Cup, because that place is fantastic. They have this little board outside, and it's got these like pictures on it of these drinks. And one of them is a white chocolate mocha, and it's got whipped cream and sprinkles or cinnamon or whatever on it. And I was like, man, that looks delicious. and I don't like coffee though. So, but I'm a younger coach at the time. I'm hanging with the old guys. They're all getting coffees, and the lady's like, "And what do you want?" And I'm like, "You know what? That picture right there. I didn't even know what it was called because I don't even think it had a name on it. But I'm like, I want that right there." She's like, "Oh, white chocolate mocha." I'm like, "Sure, yeah, bring it on. How big do you want?" "The biggest one you got." And she brought it over or whatever, and I was like, "All right, here we go." I'm thinking it's just gonna be nasty. I'm just gonna have to like slam this down to like look cool, be like, "Oh yeah, he can hang." And I, take a drink of it, and it's delicious. Crap's like drinking chocolate or hot chocolate. So now it's like my go-to when I go to get coffee. But I don't really drink coffee a whole lot. But when I do, I always get the white chocolate mocha. I'm always afraid to try something else because it might be.
Same thing. I do not like white chocolate.
Well, is there a difference between the white chocolate and the mocha?
I think there's a big difference.
Is there?
There's a slight difference. I don't know. Well, when it comes to coffee, because I've had a Heather's coffee before, I can drink that. It doesn't. But like chocolate, like white chocolate.
Oh yeah,
big difference. Not so much in the coffee though.
Speaking of chocolate, then white chocolate, milk chocolate, dark chocolate.
Which one? Dark chocolate.
Oh no, that's nasty. Oh, that's disgusting.
Hey, so I'll tell you a story about coffee. All right, so
God, disappointing.
in Iraq, you go and patrol and you go to a household and maybe you talk to the imam of that neighborhood, which is like whoever's the elder of the neighborhood, right? And you always go in their house and you sit and you have chai, which is tea, but it's in this like 2-inch high cup, right? And it's about an inch wide. It's a shot. It's like a shot glass.
Yeah.
They call it chai. And this, I'm telling you, 1/4 of a half an inch of that is sugar.
Oh, yuck.
In that little tiny spoon, like a little kid spoon for their little
toy
kitchen. And then there's, on top of that, even stronger, is an espresso. It's like coffee, but it is just a shot of crack. And so you're in you got like 30 pounds of gear. You got your vest, weapons, your ammo, full load of ammo, everything on. Sitting Indian style, which I don't do very well in that crap, regardless. And you're pounding straight sugar. And
okay. So I'll just cut this part out. So you can just keep talking.
All right. So on this, she'd be wearing all this gear, and you'd be cracked out on sugar, or like this high espresso, whatever concoction they made in another shot cup.
That's so.
And
nasty.
you going out looking for bad guys. You got kids throwing rocks at you when you're driving. Man, you're just pumped up, ready to roll. 100 degrees. I mean, you're not the happiest person wearing the stuff in that. But now you're amped up, so just creates the perfect tornado, I guess.
Yeah, and you're already brought on edge, looking for the bad guys. Sounds terrible.
For the most part. Sometimes you're on those missions just to go chill with the people out there.
That's cool.
Some neighborhoods were really cool and some others were not. So
yeah,
you could almost pick your mission on what you were in the mood for.
Yeah. So we're talking about coffee. I'm gonna keep on that. Breakfast. You a big breakfast guy?
Nope.
Nope. You don't eat breakfast?
It upsets my stomach.
Oh man, you're a little wuss.
You would think I would be a big breakfast guy, all meals, but
yeah. So you just first time you eat's like lunch, or you snack a little before that, or what?
Well, I do a lot better now that I'm retired and Heather works with me, so she's got me on all this eat healthy. And she's got hummus and granola and all this stuff. So I snack more, but before, my day would go like this: don't eat all day, go to work, don't eat.
Oh my God!
Go to practice, be starving, maybe grab something, but then at night,
God,
I'd pig out.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of my weight comes from. I just pig out because I don't get home till when the MMA was going. I didn't get home till 9:30.
Yeah.
And I was here, so I just wouldn't be able to get away because I have kids in the building all the time.
That's crazy.
It sucked.
That's like the first thing I have to do when I wake up is eat breakfast.
I was probably the only starving fat dude in Fairbanks. Biggest starving fat dude. But that was the problem. I would go home and I'd eat super late at night and I'd eat till I was full. And
yeah. Well, they say that's the worst time to eat. It's before you go to bed.
It's like wrestling. It's almost like you're continuing that bad wrestling habit. So now, Heather kind of, she doesn't work at the school anymore because she's here tutoring the students here, and she's always got, and I like it. Actually, I like hummus. She gets the garlic flatbread. She has yellow and red peppers. And
so, do you ever eat breakfast though? I'm not saying like every day, but like
I do.
Well, if you went out to breakfast with your family or whatever, like what's your go-to?
We do. Sundays after church, we'll go eat breakfast.
What's your go-to? Like breakfast
My
food?
go-to?
Yeah.
Biscuits and gravy, probably.
Okay.
Like the worst thing, or
yeah, I can't stand biscuits and gravy for some reason.
Chicken fried steak.
Oh man, you're just out there.
Yeah, if I was back in the Western times, I'd be one of those big old fat cowboys that'd just be living off the gravy.
I gotta go with the bacon, egg, and cheese bagel. It's like delicious, super easy to do. But yeah,
I love those with the pretzel bread. But if I show up to work with one of those, Heather gets mad because we drive differently. She drops Kirsten off at Lathrop, and then we pick her up later at 9. She does a couple classes there. I come straight here. If I stop somewhere, she catches me with gas station food. She gets ticked.
Dang. Yeah, my wife's the same way as far as like trying to make me eat healthy and do whatever. And sometimes I'm like cool with it, but I don't know, man. I've always been like a super picky eater, so some of the stuff like hummus and all that. I mean, I eat some of that sometimes, but like she'll like crush it. And I'm like, I can't just eat like my go-to. Like if I want to, like when I get home from wrestling practice every day, I eat like just a little something like granola bar or whatever. But I'm not one to grab like some hummus and a bag of peppers and sit down and just like go to town. I mean, I can eat that, but I can't just do that regularly. I don't hate it.
A lot better than like the chips that are out there and stuff.
I guess.
I don't know what that is. What the deal is now.
My thing is though, I'm not like craving it. Like I never sat there and been like, what sounds really good right now? Hummus and peppers.
I don't like. I gotta go to the store and get this stuff right now. I'm not like that.
But like yesterday,
because it's around.
Yeah.
I should get feta cheese and cut and have like cherry tomatoes. Dude, like having the variety helps so much more with eating healthier than like.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess my thing is too, I always talk about how like I'm a little kid trapped in a man's body because, if you ever have any of that unhealthy stuff, you think I'm going to pick hummus and peppers over like a bag of Doritos? There's no way. There's no way I'm doing that. And that's just the way I am. So when I got home from practice yesterday, oh my bad, it was yesterday. So instead of grabbing like a smoothie or whatever or granola bar, I'm like, those bag of Doritos right there look pretty good. If those weren't there, then I would have to go with the smoothie.
And a movie.
Yeah. But if they weren't there, then I'd have to go with that other crap.
So when you get home, do you have to watch TV unwind?
No. I normally do, though, because I'm a big sports guy. So I always catch up on, anything sports. I'll watch, like, Sports Center.
Yeah. I've seen lots of clips of you freaking out in front of the TV.
Yeah, well, okay. The clip you're talking about, my wife recorded without me knowing, and the Chicago Cubs in 2016 when they won the World Series after over 100 years. It was early on in the year, and one of their ace pitchers was throwing a no-hitter, which is super hard to do, and there was one out in the 9th inning, and he was still in there, still had it going, and I was watching, and I was super engaged, and like, please get this, and then the guy came up to bat. He hit a pop fly to right field, which I thought was shallow, thought might have been able to drop, so I was just screaming after the TV, get it. It's not the exact words I use, but get it. And I was going crazy, and then he got it, and then I was going nuts. And then, if she actually got the moments where I was actually freaking out, there'd be like too many to capture. Like when I was watching the UFC 229 recently, not the Khabib and Conor fight, because that fight actually kind of sucked. Even that crap after is just disgraceful. But that fight in general was like boring. Conor got smashed. He didn't even, he didn't do anything. But two fights before that, Derek Lewis fought some big white dude from Russia, and he was getting whooped the whole time. And I was talking, and I was like, all right, there's like 20 seconds left. I was like, all this other dude has to do is just not get knocked out. He's already won round 1, he's won round 2, and he's winning round 3, and 20 seconds left. It's the same thing in like a wrestling match. If you have a stall call to give up.
Talking about the Russian that lost.
Yeah.
That match made me. It was like the most resembled wrestling match that I talk about all the time. The style of what we like to coach.
Yeah.
So you're right, like.
Well, I was just like, all you do, don't get knocked out. Don't stand in front of a knockout artist when there's 20 seconds left. And what happened? The dude got dropped, his mouthpiece flew out.
Don't stand in front of him.
No, but I mean, like, just be smarter.
That wasn't it, though.
He could
that guy was so tired, he couldn't hold his arms up, right? So that guy put the pressure on, gassed him out.
Yeah.
He was winning the match because he was using his range. He was keeping the pressure on him. He was kicking him, and he was punching him straight jab. And the guy was just like swinging from a distance, and he was getting jabbed and stopped. And he was exerting energy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that guy stood in front of him, because that guy did stand in front of him the whole match.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it. He walked around. He let that guy walk around, exerting no energy. He got his gas tank back. He let that gas tank fill back up. And that guy, the commentators were even saying it. Like, he's going to get his energy back. He's just letting that guy...
Yeah, all I'm saying is, though, like, I mean, people would have booed, but, like, 20 seconds left, just stay away from him. Back up. Just don't engage. People would have been mad and, upset in the crowd, but it's just like in a wrestling match when you're up by 1 point with 10 seconds left and you guys scramble out of bounds and you come back to the middle and you look over at your coach and they're saying, hey, just stall. And I know that's kind of like a lame tactic or whatever, but you don't have a stalling warning. You can give up a stall warning and still be fine, and the match will be good. Just be smart. Don't get taken down.
It's not stalling.
No, I'm just saying. But you could back up.
That's what coaches do, but the smart coaches are like, shut them down.
Yeah.
Shut them down to me. When we first started coaching, I used to say shut down, right? And then kids were taking that the wrong way. Shut down with our tactic is like, just beat the living tar out of them and just push them and break them these last couple minutes so he can't score. Not stand in front of him and just circle,
yeah,
right, and stall, right? I
don't mean
you can afford a stalling call. Well, not if you get taken down to your back. Like,
well, no, totally. I mean, I don't mean like, hey, if they looked over in the corner, I'm gonna say, hey.
Some coaches do that. Or it's a lot of. Well, let me rephrase that. A lot of kids don't understand the concept of wrestling offensive to be defensive.
Yeah.
So if I'm beating on your head, I got heavy hands, and I'm moving you, I'm circling you, you'll never get in position to get a good shot off.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you know that you can
shut you down that way.
Yeah, if you know you could get in on the guy's legs and you've been doing it the whole time, but you don't have the energy to maybe take him down. But guess what? If they're up, or if you're up by one and you know you can get in on this guy's legs, take a shot, grab his legs, because guess what? He can't shoot on you when you're shooting on him. Right? Yeah. I mean, as long as you're not taking a horrible shot where he can easily get around you or whatever, or bail on it. But I'm just saying, like, if you're smart about it, you set up a shot and you shoot with 10 seconds left. I mean, even if the guy, you guys just hop back to your feet. You just wasted 5-6 seconds, and now the guy has to just dive or try to toss a head and arm real quick or something.
If it was up to me, though, every match would end with my guy holding that wrestler down by his neck.
Well, yeah.
With his face on the mat. Just pushing him backwards in the fetal position. Breaking him. Just mentally breaking him. That's what every wrestler needs to do.
Yeah,
every wrestler. I don't care how many points you're up by. That guy's head's on the mat, demoralized at the end of the match. Then, something my son was good at is like pick the dude up and be humble and.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when I was a kid, I wouldn't have been that way. I would have just been, and I probably would have stepped over him. And
speaking of which, this is just random. I don't even have this in my notes to talk about, but I was kind of thinking about it. So, wrestling has changed like a lot, and I don't know if it's just like probably society as a whole in general, as far as like what people can, I guess, get away with, as far as like being cocky or taunting or whatever. So when my older brother wrestled, and man, the stands used to be like packed and stuff just for a duel against West Valley. So they had those purple singlets.
Ringing those stupid cowbells.
Yeah, which my mom still has.
I used to hate that.
Yeah.
I was a West Valley coach.
Yeah, man, these cowbells. If you get the guy in the back, everybody in the crowd's dinging these cowbells or whatever.
Taking that away.
But, okay, so here's what I was getting at is that, we still have some of them, but we don't use them that much. The purple singlets with the little Lathrop LHS, or it says LHS with the little wreath on the leg.
Wreath, yeah.
Yep. So I remember my older brother telling me back in the day when they used to wrestle West Valley, when they would beat somebody, they'd go over the West Valley crowd and they'd go like this. They'd put their hands in the air kind of like a diamond and they'd go like that. And they'd slap it on their leg right over the LHS thing, kind of like show the West Valley crowd, like, I don't know, in your face type thing. If anyone did that now, they'd be...
Yeah, maybe.
You don't think?
I think the refs played too much into that, but I think there has to be sportsmanship,
Right.
but there's an adrenaline rush and an intensity that takes place right after the win.
Right, and
Right?
so this is what I'm getting at. So
it's not saying like you slugged the guy or you pushed the guy or anything like that.
Right, but Kobe Ames last year, after he won state, he did a backflip, and then they
different than anybody does in this whole nation.
And they tried to take a team point, and then they discussed it a little more.
I think the ref was on the right track as far as trying to maintain a professional atmosphere and control the wrestlers.
Yeah, but he wasn't going out of his way to be like disrespectful to the kid.
How many kids can do backflips after a match?
Well, probably not many.
Right. So I think it was like something really new, and just the atmosphere of catching it, and I think that same ref retracted that.
No, I know. I mean, they talked about it, like, and it wasn't a very long conversation. A minute after, they're like, never mind.
We don't want to like sit here and talk about, hey, you're going to be a state champ. What are you going to do afterwards?
Oh yeah,
you know
for sure.
Mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, one kid wants to throw me in a freaking hit toss.
Yeah.
After he wins, because someone did that to Tom Brands, and I'm like, dude, like,
yeah.
Let's worry about winning first.
Right.
Right? And let the moment take its.
Yeah, I hear you.
We don't want that. But so the yellow singlets we have, right? What's on the chest?
The wreath.
The wreath.
Yeah.
Right. How many college kids take out and they show their?
Oh yeah, totally. Put your singlet out. Yeah.
That's exactly why I got that.
Yeah.
I want my guys to have a sense of pride, and I want people to look like those dudes. I want to. That's where I want to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't mean it as like a disrespectful way, but I mean like, or like talking trash, because we obviously don't want that. But I mean like, I don't have a problem with people, being happy, being excited, proud, and doing a little something.
They need to keep their mouth shut.
I agree. Yeah.
Kids shouldn't say one damn thing out there.
I just think that some people look at it, even if they held their singlet out, like, oh, look, this guy's being cocky.
They probably do. Yeah. They probably do, but they're in the stands for a reason.
Right. They're
in the stands, and most of the time those are parents or someone that has no concept of wrestling, or if they did wrestle, they probably weren't any good, or doesn't understand that that level of competition. Right. Right? Or that kind of battle. So they've never been in that kind of battle.
Yeah. So my thing is with the changes, though, so back in the day when my older brother wrestled, he graduated in 97, so he's in school 97, 96, 95, 94, whatever. That was like not like looking at him like, oh, that kid's being disrespectful or whatever. Like that was just a thing. I mean, I don't know. West Valley might have done something similar or whatever.
We didn't you guys. Yeah. We hated Lathrop.
Yeah, totally.
We hated Lathrop.
Yeah.
And I used to make my guys do push-ups if they lost, and then we got crap for that. But like there's always some kind of aspect of visibility to the public, like we don't accept that group or whatever they're doing, we don't accept it, we're better than them. And I think that's the edge of competition, though. Yeah. That's the edge of competition. Think of all the war scenes you see out there, especially in the Spartan days and stuff like that. Like they have big guys coming out there, the faces are painted blue, there's intimidation and
So here's another question I have, just kind of random, sticking with some just off-topic stuff. So when I wrestled for Lathrop back in the day, Tom Ritchie Sr. was the head coach, and he was very adamant about our attire, right? Everybody had to wear matching everything, right? No one was allowed to listen to music to warm up or whatever, which always drove me crazy because I was thinking man, who cares? Why does it matter? If I have my headphones and I'm in the hallway warming up before my match, why does it matter if I have music or not? It's my choice, but it's whatever. I mean, not a big deal. It didn't really affect too much, but we weren't allowed to wear hats or anything like that.
Right.
Kids were.
Arena. I remember that.
Right. So he's like,
over there, we had a lot of that.
Yeah. He's like, so you guys have your warm up jackets on, pants. It's either hoods up or if we have our hoods up, everybody has to have their hood up. Or if we're not going to do hoods up, then no one's having their hood up. But I remember when you coached at West Valley, but you weren't the head coach. It was Dan Carson's.
I wasn't in charge of the culture.
Right.
I didn't, maybe the culture of practice, beating the snot out of each other, because that's kind of the mentality they had.
Yeah.
But I didn't control what they wore, how we carried ourselves.
I was just curious how you feel about that, because I remember actually going to the Carlson Center when I was in 8th grade to watch the state finals, and West Valley, off the top of my head, had Caitlin Baxter was in the finals, Ward Dobbs, I mean, they had a bunch, like a bunch of dudes in there. Anyways, but so I remember Kalen had this hat on that had these like little strings down to like his shoulders, and he's warming up with that. Ward Dobbs had like a little beanie on. He's warming up. Another kid had a hood. Other people didn't have anything. Not that it matters, but then when I went to Lathrop and it was like, yeah, we don't do that. Not necessarily like in like about West Valley, but like, yeah, we don't do that. We either all look alike or we're, hoods up or hoods down. I don't know. I'm just asking, like, how do you feel about
it? So, okay, back in the day, you know the saying, you look like a chuck wagon, you get treated like one? You know where that came from? So, back in the prairie days, when the frontier, and you see the prairie wagons, this is a line of them, right?
Yeah.
And it just looks like a bunch of supplies and families. And what the Indians do when they see that, they attack it because it looked weak.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of chuck wagons, and then they got to circle the wagons and defend themselves, right? So that's kind of where that phase came, and I got that from the military. But if you look like a chuck wagon, you're going to get treated like one. You're going to get attacked, right? So in that aspect, like, if you go in there looking like ragbags and undisciplined and no structure, it does send a message to a certain extent. Like, the coaches don't care about that. What else don't they care about? How hard you work at practice. And, it just, it can lead into anything.
Yeah.
All right? So everybody has their ideologies. When I was at West Valley, even though they didn't have that, and I'm a military guy, so uniformity is important to me. Like, I'm very picky about the Lathrop uniforms. Like, everybody's wearing the same. They want black sweatpants and all this other stuff. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll catch somebody every once in a while doing their, and then, I don't stop what I'm doing and just lose control, and, I deal with it later. But, so anyways, at West Valley, to send that message, it had to be the way we wrestled.
Right.
Okay? So even though they may look like ragbags,
might look like a scrub, but
everybody knew who they were wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when we, even from the coaches' enthusiasm and intensity, like pushing, us coaches pushing each other.
Yeah. I remember you guys, every time they used to go out for the match, they would like give you guys high fives, but it wasn't a high five. It was like to the side.
Break our hands,
and it was so hard and loud. And just, I remember seeing like, you guys like, a few times just kind of like pull your hand back and be like, oh my God. Like you could just tell like that had to hurt.
I was a big believer in smacking them in the face. On the side of the headgear.
Yeah.
I like that. That's the old Iowa.
Get them kind of hype.
Watching, but so now with Lathrop, so I have Tom. I share Tom Ritchie's ideology of uniformity, discipline. I grew up don't wear a hat in the house.
Yeah.
But in wrestling, I also grew up like people keep beanies on to keep a sweat going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that doesn't bother me because as long as it's, I don't let my kids wear headbands.
Yeah.
Headbands, that's for sweat staying out of the eyes.
Right.
That serves no purpose. I call it a yuppie look. Like some of these preppy schools, they got pink ones and they dance around, and a lot of the kids that wear them aren't any good, and they're just trying to look pretty in my eyes. But anyways, that's just it. But if you want to wear wear a cap. Get a sweat going. My team had baseball caps. Your weight was on it. Your name was on it. Wore that. But that looking back, that's kind of odd.
Yeah.
Baseball caps,
That's kind of weird.
But the coaches they were all Northview wrestling, weight and all that, so you know who. But anyways, uniformity is important to me. Structure and discipline, how we act, not laying all over each other and
that's another thing that when I went to school, we were like, when all the kids that, knew each other from other schools or whatever, that's fine. They're all out there and laying in the middle of the mats with their blankets and crap before, after weigh-ins.
It doesn't bother me, like, sleeping on the mat. But
no, but all, just rolling around and, play wrestling and stuff. And it's like, what are you doing?
I think there's a certain extent.
We even had to walk in the building in a damn weight line. All of our stuff on in a weight line in single file order.
I think there's moments when it should be like that.
I always just thought it was kind of like...
Because if you're like that all the time, you're not going to get... Nowadays, you won't get the numbers. If you make a little bit fun.
Oh, no, for sure. I think he just did that for almost like an intimidation factor. Not necessarily now you're afraid to wrestle a kid from Lathrop, but you see that walk in and you're like, dang, look at those guys.
That, especially around here.
Yeah. But you look at that school and you're like, man.
Look the same.
Yeah.
They need to be up in the stands, not goofing off.
Yeah.
Right? They need to clean up after themselves. I don't need or want schools telling me like there's a disaster in the bleachers or how people conduct themselves. I don't want kids sitting. This is what makes me mad. Kids sitting on the edge.
Oh, the mat?
Cheering their teammates on.
Yeah.
Right? I get it and I don't get it. I get it because, other people do it and Lathrop wants to do it and they want to be there and they want to cheer it on. But there's an aspect of wrestling. It's called a coach in the corner.
Oh, totally.
Trying to shout stuff and help him through his match. Now I'm taking on another obstacle of doing that. It drives me even more nuts when the other team comes in my corner or parents come in my corner.
Well, that's a thing that's
disrespectful to me.
That's a thing that drives me nuts too. Is that so? You have like
I've had parents do that to the other team, and I've went over there in the middle of the match and told them to move.
Yeah.
And I, I'm not gonna say names, but like they kind of rolled their eyes at me, like, come on, like really, and because I'm a coach in the corner, I know how that is distracting, right? It shouldn't be, but it is. And regardless, like we're gonna be respectful,
Yeah. That reminds me of just like, some things that annoy me as a coach or even like when I was wrestling. So when I used to wrestle, when I first started, my older brother used to be one of those guys on the side yelling. Well, for me, I always idolized my older brother. So sometimes I like look over at him, what he's yelling. And that drives me nuts now as a coach when parents do that because I get where they're coming from. They might know some stuff or whatever, but unless they're not in our wrestling room, they don't know what we're teaching or what we're showing or how we're showing it. So when there's a break in the action and a kid gets up and I'm trying to yell something like, hey, do this or look for this, and they have a parent or a brother or sibling or whatever yelling something or a teammate yelling something, and they look over at them, kind of like what you're talking about, now I'm competing with somebody else who's yelling something that maybe I don't think that they should be yelling or something that we might not even do or whatever. Yeah. So when I wrestle, I remember Tom Ritchie yelling at my older brother, if you want to coach, then you need to come sit over here in the damn chair.
Right.
Because I don't need him looking over there and looking over here and not knowing not who to look at and not know what to do. He's telling me to do this. He's telling me to do this. That's my coach, but that's also my brother who's been there, like somebody who's been there for me who knows stuff. It's not like it's just some guy who doesn't know anything who's just yelling, and it makes it just hard because you don't want to like
my battles with that, but I try to lay down the law too. So I mean, I'm a type of person that I'll tell a parent, hey, stop. Just let me coach. Or I'll tell other coaches to shut up.
Yeah.
And that's exactly in those words.
I've been there. I've been there sitting right next to
people. I've told my whole corner to shut their mouths.
Yeah.
And I've said it just like that. But, like, if anybody that knows me knows, like, I don't mean anything by it.
Yeah, it's not disrespectful.
So if you're in the midst of war, right, and you want something to change, do you go over there real nice and say, hey guys,
oh yeah,
we really,
of course
like,
not.
Everybody's swinging axes and stuff, like, do we stop and or do you yell it and get your point across and then you'll clean it up later, or after the battle's over you'll bring everybody together, hey, good reaction, sorry I had to yell at you and you guys reacted well with it. And some people, they don't like it and they're butthurt over it, and so be it, that's too bad, but I'm in the midst of battle, I'm not nice. I mean, I yelled at some of my coaches at state tournament to shut their mouths and tell him one thing. Tell him to do one thing.
Yeah.
You guys yelling 3 different things.
Well, it's the thing, too, when you have two coaches in the corner and maybe they're both
and
like...
I feel bad.
Yeah.
But, like, we're in the midst of chasing a state title. I'm going to another match, and I'm leaving my heavyweight with 2 coaches, and they're not with this guy all the time, so I'm kind of listening to what they're saying, and I'm going over to this mat, and I hear something. I turn around, I come back, and I tell him to shut up. Tell him one thing, and keep him focused. All he needs is this one move, because he was a new wrestler, didn't have really a lot of things. He was new to wrestling. He was an older kid that was mature, so he could do whatever you told him to, but he wasn't going to be able to put together 3 things. So sometimes that happens, but at the end of the day, like, those coaches still come back.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, like you were saying, like, anyone that knows you doesn't take it like personal, like, oh, he's gonna be like that. Well,
Some
I'm not. Well, they shouldn't. They shouldn't though. Like, be like, oh, if he's gonna be like that, then I'm just not gonna coach anymore. I'm not gonna sit in the corner. I mean, you're not doing it in like a malicious, like mean way to be like, you don't know what you're talking about. But you don't want to confuse the kids.
When Lathrop does something, right? Who does this state know who's in charge of Lathrop?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So if I'm gonna make a decision, right, and we fail, I accept failure as well as success. So if one of my coaches failed to do something and it cost the team something, that's my failure.
Yeah.
Because I didn't mentor the coach, or I just wasn't there. Whatever. I can't control all of it, but it's still my fault.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
I mean,
I'm willing to accept that. Where other people, and that's what a leader does.
Yeah.
He accepts failure, even when it wasn't his fault. He wasn't there to control it. This is on my watch, so this Lathrop's mine for the next how many years. So whatever we do or fail to do is ultimately going to be on my name. So, I mean, and some of those failures are going to be my fault.
Yeah. No, I got that. I'm just saying, though, that, like, I don't know, coaches shouldn't take it to heart too much if you're going to get mad at them. I mean, there's a hierarchy of how things run at each school, and
then
like you said,
moms yelling right in your ear too.
Totally.
Like moms, you got to be a little more like, hey,
yeah,
can we move over there a little bit? And then they'll most of the time they'll laugh because they know exactly how they're being, and it's not a big deal. And then you just go.
Well, that's their baby out there.
Right,
Yeah. I remember when I broke my arm at North Pole. My mom has it on film. She used to film all our matches, me and Dylan, and I used to always go home after every duel, or even if you stomped a kid or lost, and I'd go home and watch my matches back through, just to see what I did wrong or see what I could improve or whatever, which clearly didn't help me very much. But when I broke my arm, she's filming, and then she yells like an obscenity or whatever, and shuts it off. But she ran out on the mat. 10 seconds after it happened to make sure I was all right or whatever. And I mean, clearly I wasn't. I almost had a compound fracture, which good thing it wasn't like that. That would have been horrible because it was in the finals at North Pole, and if compound fracture, if my bone would have came out and everybody's watching, that would have been, God, that would have been horrible. But I mean, I had to get surgery on that, finished sophomore year in a cast above my elbow. I remember Tom Ritchie actually telling me, after I got it assessed and come in, and they're like, all right, yeah, you're gonna have to be in a cast up to here, so I won't be able to bend my arm, and had to get a metal plate put in there and whatever. And he's like looking at it, and after I got it casted up, and he's like, you know what? I think you'll be all right. We'll just wrap it up with we'll just pad it up real nice. Put a thing over here, and you can just wrestle like that. I'm thinking, dude, I can't even get in referee's position. I can't bend my arm. How am I going to do anything at all?
You'll do something, and you'll have this story to talk about, and you'll look at things differently when it comes to adversity.
No, yeah, I guess, but my thing is, I'm like, how am I even supposed to make weight? That year, I was supposed to wrestle 119, and I was cutting so much weight, and I was having such a hard time that I had to bump up to 125 because I don't know if it was just I was growing or whatever was going on. I literally just could not make 119. I think I made it one time, and every other time that I even made it, even with weight allowance, I was just wrestled like trash because I had no energy, just focused way too much on cutting weight. So when he's like, yeah, let's wrap it up, I'm like, how am I going to make weight? I got a cast on that thing's got to weigh a couple pounds, and then for me to go out there, I can't. You want me, and on top of that, you want me to this is not a removable cast, it's a hard cast. So I'm like, if I work out or do anything and it gets sweaty and all nasty in there, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? You really want me to go out there? And there was a month left of season left, so it wasn't hey, you'll be good by the end or whatever. It's hey, you're going to be in that cast for 6 to 8 weeks, and I'm like, all right, well, in 6 to 8 weeks the season will be well over. So I mean, it just sucked. But that at the time just blew my mind that he thought that I would be okay to wrestle. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do, man? Have an arm that I can't bend past my elbow.
Especially, if you'll have parents that will support and believe in the same thing, that a kid should be able to suck it up, and they're not going to die, and it's not going to make the injury worse, then they can endure the pain and drive through it. And then you got parents that just want to protect them from every little pain.
Yeah.
I don't think either are wrong. I just think it is what it is, and you can try to educate some parents about your beliefs, and they can try it. Some will think you're crazy.
Yeah.
And you're never going to change their minds, And some will be like, well, let's see how he does. And then their own kid surprises them. So.
Yeah. So I have one more thing. I'm going to wrap this up. Just because we were just talking, kind of, my wife is texting me that she wants lunch, and she's a dentist, so she has a emergency patient or something that she has to.
Mama, you gotta go get lunch for yours.
She has an emergency patient that she has to see. So
is it a Bockert?
I don't think so. So we're gonna end a couple other things.
What?
These are gonna be kind of just like random funny things. These are probably more for like the younger listeners, if there are any. I'm gonna throw a couple words out, and I just want like just your first thought, even if you don't know what or who I'm talking about.
Okay.
All right. So first thing that comes to mind when I say Cardi B.
Cardi B?
Yes.
Cardi B.
Yes.
No idea.
All right. She is a female rapper. She's like 26 years old. Won a bunch of
okay.
Won a bunch of awards.
I was thinking like cardio.
Okay.
Bicycling. I don't know. Cardio bicycling, I guess.
All right.
She's a rapper, huh?
Yep. Next one. Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Yep.
Is that like basketball? Like Malone's posting up or something like that? I don't know.
Definitely not.
Is he another rapper?
Another rapper.
Oh.
Tattoos on his face.
Is this a white kid?
Yep.
White kid that's got earrings and gold teeth and stuff?
Yep.
I seen this guy on TV, and he's talking about how bad his life was because his parents were divorced. I don't know.
I bring those two up because they just performed at the American Music Awards, I think. Okay, so I know you know this one. Fortnite.
Oh my God.
What do you think about that?
It's a nightmare.
The craze that have taken over the world. Used to be a game, I think, I'm not 100% sure. Used to be a game that was only played on computers.
We could do a whole nother podcast on this.
Oh, I don't want to.
But
have you played it?
Yeah, I played it with my kids.
You're any good?
But here's the thing.
Are you any good?
No.
Have you ever won?
Like won as a group or team?
Yeah.
No. I've always been in the top 10. That's because I can't
hide.
Around.
Yeah.
But I get, but Jeremy gives me crap, but I was like, this is how you're tactical. You use the storm to move people forward, and then you attack them.
Yeah, I've played it a little bit with my little brother, but I had 2 solo victories.
I do like those games, but this is what I'm going to tell you. That game is like the people that came up with that have mastered every aspect of how you can keep people addicted and keep spending money.
Oh, totally, yeah. They do a great job.
Because it's live, because they keep changing it, and like you can characterize your own stuff, right?
Well, and it plays to like younger kids and even adults,
feeds feeds into everything.
But now they even have it out for you. It's free, so that's smart. And then they have microtransactions where you can buy like different weapons and skins and all that.
So I got this thing last November. No, last May.
What?
I was doing a pre-Team Alaska camp. We didn't have Xbox at my house. And Jeremy come to me, he's like, I gotta get Xbox. Wayne Newman and Inama and all the Homer kids that he's buddies with. And, these other kids from what he's like, they're all coming and I want the game. They all play it. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Give them something to do because they're all gonna be staying at my house. Worst thing I could possibly done. Worst. I could go and like get my son addicted to drugs. And it still wouldn't be worse than giving him that Fortnite game. Because I don't think there's any cure for that.
Oh, no.
Like, I'll just sign him into a hospital and get him off drugs. But, Fortnite, I don't know.
Well, now they got him on
anywhere.
Now you can get
it on their phone.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, so if I hear that at the school, I'll be sitting here and you can hear the music. Give me your phone.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be doing schoolwork.
That's funny.
But, so I think it's cool. What I don't understand is I'll play it, right, and I'll go downstairs and play it on, and Jeremy will be somewhere else. And we'll play together, and that's cool. Talking to my son, talking to other wrestlers, talking smack to them, playing. But after 2 games, I'm bored with it. It's got to load. It's got to do all this stuff. People are I'm dead watching other people, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. And these guys are on it for hours, and Jeremy's like, dude, Dad, you just got on it. I was like, yeah, but I'm 2-3 games, and that's it.
That's how I think I am with most video games in general. I mean, and that same thing with that, people say that, well, it's fun because, it's not the same thing every time. I'm like, well, I get that, but it is the same thing every time. I know you're playing with different players, and I know you don't have to go to the same spot in the game, and you don't have to do the same thing every time, but the concept of the game is always the same. The idea of the game is always the same. I mean, so it's the same. 3 more things. Stranger Things. Know what that is?
Stranger Things.
Stranger
That's
Things.
a movie.
TV show.
It's a TV show.
Ever seen it?
I seen Jeremy talking about it.
It's on Netflix.
I saw on Netflix flipping through it. Thought it was a movie.
It's super good. You should check it out.
Okay, what does it have to do with? Is it like supernatural power stuff?
Kinda.
I kind of like that. You ever seen Heroes?
Yeah.
I like that show.
I like that show too. By the way, super random about that show. Not really. That show broke a ton of records for NBC or whatever it was on. Heroes. Yeah, and then it got canceled. But it had like all these records for most viewership.
I kind of lost track, but it is drying out a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so recently, Peaky Blinders. You seen Peaky Blinders?
No.
Watch that.
Is that a show?
Awesome show. I'm watching Frontier now.
Oh, okay, I've heard
for
about
trading between Canada and the U.S. And then, what else did I just watch? I don't know. Tom Hardy?
Yeah.
Awesome actor.
Yep.
Yeah,
Venom.
He plays in a lot of these. He was in the one with the gangster where he had a twin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he plays in a lot of that kind of stuff. He plays in Lawless, which is one of the
I love that
movies.
movie. Yeah.
So,
yeah. He's the one who gets his throat slit, right? In that movie?
Yeah, together.
Yeah. Okay.
That'd totally be me. I'd be a badass like that.
2 more. Call of Duty.
I like it.
Better than Fortnite?
Isn't it old now?
I don't know. They come out with a new one every year. It's definitely not as popular as it used to be.
Something's coming out that I'm literally getting beat up every day about buying. And it's $100. And Jeremy's beating me up.
What is it?
It's like Call of Duty live.
They have this
with
thing.
Zombies.
From what I understand, they have a new game coming out called Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
That's it.
Okay. So now this has the similar. So this has all the Call of Duty stuff as the old ones.
And it's got zombies.
And it has a mode that's similar to what Fortnite does, where it's like a free for all.
Yeah.
So
I'm being told, like, if we don't get this now, if we don't pre-order it, they're gonna run out, Dad. I was like, Jeremy, it's a live video game. There's no limit on how many people are gonna sign up for this. That's just a ploy to get people locked in and get money now.
Yeah,
I'm
tired of Call of Duty. Not to like toot my own horn. I've never met somebody that's better than Call of Duty at me, like ever. And I smash like everybody.
Are you really boasting about video games?
Yeah, I am, because I got to boast about something.
That's why you got beat up so much, probably.
Whatever. Anyway, I'm just saying that I'm really good at Call of Duty for some reason, and I'm just tired of the game. I'm done playing it. Sick of it.
Be the same graphics. And
I don't know. They come out with a new one every year, something different, whatever. But I'm just tired. I'm just tired of it.
I want an Atari.
Screw that.
I
have an old Nintendo. I still have
my. With it. Put it away.
I still have my old Super Nintendo and my old regular Nintendo.
You know what I do enjoy? Me and Jeremy do. We play chess.
I love chess.
Chess is fun.
I wish I had someone to play chess with.
And then I'll try to do something like work on my computer at the same time playing them, and I'll screw up.
Yeah.
And he's gonna beat me, and then I put it aside. I panic because he'll never let it go if he beats me in chess. Like, Buddy would never play those games with me, but
yeah,
Jeremy does.
Last one. Migos.
Migos, like friends in Mexico.
Kinda, but
Amigo?
Nope, just Migos with an M. Migos. It's 2 guys. They're a group. They're also musical. They're in music business. They're rappers or R&B or whatever.
Is Lathrop putting together a rap group or something?
I only bring this up. No, I only bring this up because this is what a lot of the crap the kids listen to at practice when they hook their music up.
Listen, I've drowned a lot of that out or have yelled at you.
They were listening to Miley Cyrus the other day at practice.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's garbage.
Because Randy and Darren Pesterkoff who played Taylor Swift.
What?
And Randy, I think Darren does it for the summertime. He knows it drives me nuts.
Oh,
I think it's a good music, but I was like, at practice, really? Because now it's
when
kind of a joke.
When they were playing it the other day and they were playing Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus, I was like, you know what? Nothing gets me more hyped and more intense and want me to go smash this person than listening to Miley Cyrus Party in the USA.
It would if that was the person that was playing it.
I guess.
Just imagine, like, you're beating up the person that just played that music. I don't know.
That's terrible.
Christmas time.
I
That's the
know.
one thing.
Yeah.
That makes me mad in my room. When I walk into the Lathrop room and they're warming up to Jingle Bells and all that other stuff, and it's not a joke. They're singing to it. They're having it, like, what is wrong with these kids?
I don't know. It's terrible. Anyway, that's all I got for today.
Yeah, that was fun. I think we do need to do a podcast with like a bunch of
That'd be
coaches.
cool. Yeah.
I think just getting a bunch of coaches talking about random stuff like you kind of did today would be good.
Well, I hit up my little brother Dylan to try to come over here, but he's like working, and he said if he had a little more of a heads up, he would have been able to come over and just shoot the breeze or whatever. So maybe next time we can get him in here. But that being said, we'll just end it there.
Yeah,
And
before I get lost in there.
yeah. All right, good stuff. Well, that does it for podcast number 2 with Wes Bockert. I appreciate everybody listening to that. I do apologize. We did have a couple technical issues there and some audio issues throughout the podcast. So if it sounded like I was really loud and Wes was pretty quiet, I do apologize for that. Be on the lookout for upcoming podcasts. I've already been reached out by a couple coaches who want to talk. I plan on hopefully interviewing Darren Lieb from Bethel this coming weekend at the Battle of the Interior Fairbanks tournament that Lathrop hosts. So be on the lookout for that, and thanks for listening.
As the war between light and darkness continues, heroes and villains become harder to identify. Kindred spirits separated at birth, fighting for their place in time to be solidified. The clock ticks faster and faster while time runs the marathon in this Babylon. But see, the end is only the beginning of the calm before the storm.
I used to dream of